Hi, my name is Mahdi and this has been a long time coming. I, out of all people, have been procrastinating to start creating YouTube content. And this has been going for the longest time. But I'm gonna start right now. I'm gonna talk about topics that tackle entrepreneurs as well as fresh up and coming employees. And I'm gonna teach whatever I can potentially that I have gone through over the past 15 years being in this industry, and I'm gonna share them in 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 minutes long videos. I don't know how it's gonna look like, I don't know what's gonna happen with it, I don't know if I'm gonna tackle the right points, but I'm just gonna do it and I'm gonna get better with time. For the first video, I'm gonna talk about something that I am deeply passionate about. It's correcting applications that are sent to me on a daily basis every day from individuals, whether young or old, that are looking for an enrollment in TriFit and in the companies that I own, and the way they approach it. Usually 95% of times I don't even read the email applications, and the main reason is that they're not presenting themselves to the maximum ability that they could. So I'm going to teach you guys a quick hack of how you could potentially increase your response rate when you're applying to a company. And it's very simple, and it goes directly to the platform on social media which all of you are thinking about. But there's a twist. The platform that I was talking about is LinkedIn. Everybody thinks LinkedIn is used to get jobs. Well, firstly, let me correct you there. It's not. I am growing on LinkedIn day in and day out by posting content that has nothing to do with jobs, nothing to do with employees, nothing to do with the team, nothing to do with anything at all. I'm posting my journey on a day-to-day basis and becoming a better entrepreneur. But that's a different story which we'll come to later. What happens usually on LinkedIn is I get approached by hundreds and hundreds of people on a weekly basis that start their messaging saying, "Hi sir, I'm looking for a job. Hi dear sir, please find my CV." And then the CV is in a Word document. Or it's like, "Hello there, I have graduated from X, Y, and Z from another country." Or it goes like, "Hello, I have had 15 years of experience working in this industry." And then they keep talking around that industry, and then they don't actually show anything of proof. Or. What I want to let you know is that every employer is looking at these things when they want to find the right application. It would be the advice for you to approach by sending messages as such. And the simplest and the fastest way to do so, yes, you should have your CV, but first of all, make sure that your CV is not a Word document. You can easily use the simplest tool and form, which is Canva, no matter what industry you're in, whether you're into IT or you're applying to become a nurse. This applies to every single industry, and it doesn't have to be a long Canva presentation. But you can have a Canva where you can present yourself with visuals as well as bio, as well as proof of cases. And basically this is all of your past work, previous work. And if you don't have any past or previous work, you can easily say, "I am open to learn," which brings in honesty. Your Canva needs to consist of maximum 5 to 7 pages. If you're gonna have a video being uploaded onto the Canva, you send the Canva as a link. If you don't have a video, you convert that Canva into a PDF and then you attach it to whatever messaging system that you have, in whether it's a LinkedIn message, whether it's an email or whatnot. This is the simplest way of putting that CV together, which is much better than a Word document. The amount of Word document CVs I get on a day-to-day basis, which tells me that you haven't even gone through the time to actually making that into a PDF to send them, which is the first rule or first step into making your documents a little bit more, official by not sending an editable file to someone that you're potentially wanting them to employ you. I would stay away from talking about your hobbies, and I would convert your hobbies into actual numbers. And you might ask, is the numbers just for sales? No, it's not. You can talk about numbers in anything. Let's say that I am a videographer, for example, and I want to showcase that I provide quality. So I could say that I have done 500 videos in the past year working for this company. And let's say you're an admin for a real estate company. You could potentially go like, I have done, or I have onboarded 500 developers in the past 3 years of me working for this organization, and I have XYZ relationships that I could potentially work with. I know 50 people in the industry that I can bring value of. So numbers is the most important thing to any employer. And this is talking about any corporate jobs that you're offering yourself to. But even if it's not corporate and if it's in retail or if it's in something else, numbers are by far the most important thing that you need to mention in your application. And I think that your hobbies can easily be replaced by the numbers that you're showcasing. Now, CV is great. All of this is beautiful. The better way that I would put it is, and this is how I look at applications, is a 60-second video application. So in the 60-second video application, it needs to get divided into 6 parts. Now, what happens in these 6 parts? The first 10 seconds is your intro. The second 10 seconds is about yourself. So this is where your bio comes. The third 10 seconds is about numbers. So your achievements. The fourth 10 seconds is the why. The fifth 10 seconds is the how. The last 10 seconds is the compliment. Now, this can be easily achieved using ChatGPT. So I'm not going to go into the scripting of the procedure and the process, but I'm going to explain what I mean by it and how you could potentially tackle this. By creating a 60-second video application, you can then easily upload it onto YouTube as a private link, which does not require your prospect to have to go through the process of downloading a video or whatnot to getting that information out. You can easily put it on YouTube, create a Gmail account, put it on YouTube, and then upload it, and then take a private link and only send that private link out to individuals. The video preferably needs to be customized. So you need to have a fully custom video. But when I say custom video, only the first 10 seconds is custom. All of these stay the same, always. It never changes. And with simple editing tools such as CapCut, obviously your phone and the audio recorder of any phone, if you have multiple phones in the household, can potentially allow you to achieve that. Also make sure that your sunlight is good, and these will come in the content procedures of what you're doing, but it could also be as simple as you're sat in your house and you just are recording a piece of content with the camera being placed there. Now, I would suggest that you use the best lighting on the planet, which is God's gift, sunlight, so you don't really need to purchase anything. But again, let's come back to the structure of these 10 seconds. Now, when I say custom, the only custom thing about this is the name of the person that you are sending this out to. But I have a trick that I use. If I'm applying to an organization, any organization that has more than 10 employees on this planet, 95% of them always have a WhatsApp group internally within the team. I would not advise you to send a LinkedIn message or a message or an email to the employer or the HR individual. Don't send the messages directly to them. And I'll tell you why. On a day-to-day basis, they are getting multiple messages from other individuals and they don't find anything special unless it's really outside the box, so the competition becomes really high. What I would advise you to do is go and find other individuals that are working in that organization, which LinkedIn allows you to get access to very easily. Send a message to them and start it by saying, let's assume that the person's name working in that organization, which is not the employer or the HR, is Sarah. How I would start it is, hey Sarah, listen, I know that you're doing X, Y, and Z in the organization, and I love what you're doing, and I've read about your accomplishments. Would you mind sending this across to X, Y, Z, which is now your decision maker or the employer or the HR? What this person is going to do is, because they do not receive these applications day in and day out, to them it's very special. And because you've customized just by saying Sarah and just by going and spending some time researching on what they actually do in the organization, they immediately feel love. And to them, it's a compliment. What they're going to do, the next thing they're going to do, high chances of the next move that they're going to make is they're going to send that link, the YouTube link, to their WhatsApp group and go like, oh my God, guys, look at this. Someone just got in touch and they know who I am. boom, you suddenly immediately got the attention of the decision maker. You got the attention of the employer or the HR, whoever that is. They are going to contact you because you're doing something different. And it's as simple as that. This is the LinkedIn strategy that I would advise and suggest that you approach with and follow it. It always works. It would work with me much more than an email application going like, hi sir, I have this degree from this college or university in a country that I don't even know about. I understand that it's important to you, and it is, don't get me wrong, but to the employer, what matters most times, depending again on the job scope and the job that you're entering, is numbers, past achievements, or if you don't have those numbers or those past achievements, how honest you are and how much you want to potentially, or how open you are to learning and what your expectations accordingly are. Now, this approach must be done at least 100 times per week in order for you to potentially land 30 to 50 job interviews. It will 100% work. So this is the overall strategy. I'm going to come and talk about what are the no-nos or the no-goes or not to-dos around it. If you guys start changing your approach from sending the usual CVs and the documentations and creating a 60-second video application, stop talking about things that don't matter. Don't send long messages and long texts. Not everybody likes to read. People like to watch. And the reason why people like to watch is because they consume social media on a day-to-day basis for between average hours of 2 hours and 5 hours on a day-to-day basis. So because they're so used to it, it would have a higher chance of working if you actually feed them those applications in those manners. Some of the things that you need to be careful of is make sure that your application is in vertical format. So you're not going in horizontal, and by vertical I mean vertical, which is basically social media way of putting it, not horizontal. Second most important thing is your energy levels must be very, very, very high, just like how I am in the videos that I put together on socials. Same way your application needs to be like that. Thirdly, don't forget to custom it. It's the most important thing, because when you custom make something, it immediately links to emotions. You want to involve emotions in everything that you do, including applying for a job. Fourthly, when you're putting all this application together in your compliment section, make sure you mention things like, if this doesn't go through, it's completely okay. Thanks for watching my 60 seconds, or things like that. And manifest the thought process of, don't showcase that you are desperate for the job. The amount of applications that I get on a day-to-day basis that they say urgent. So I read the email and it suddenly says like, hi sir, I'm looking for a job. Okay, I understand it's urgent for you, but it might not be urgent for me. And I'm just doing this because if 10% of the applications that I receive on a day-to-day or weekly basis. And lastly, most important thing, make sure you involve numbers in every single thing that you talk about. Do this 100 times minimum per week, and I promise you the success rate of your applications is going to grow. You're going to have better applications being sent out, and therefore better applications being accepted. You're going to get those interviews. Once those interviews take place, make sure you have the same vibe and the same energy that you had in the video, and I assure you that things are going to go together. For the freshers or for the ones that have never worked before, mindset and attitude to learn and to adapt is the most important thing. I would advise you to always be positive and always take in criticism, because you're growing and you're learning. Don't go in expecting to get paid XYZ just because market rates are paying that. You might get accepted to the job. You might get paid that amount of money, but your expectations of the employer are very, very high now, and you staying in that job might not be for a very long time. And on your CV, having you moving from one job to the other is not the best thing that you could have. I wish you guys all the best. I hope this added some value to you. Can't believe I'm doing this, but if it did, like, subscribe. Love you guys.